Hey, and welcome to another amazing podcast, YouTube video, whatever platform you are listening on. I have an amazing podcast today, a testimonial with my good friend, Dave Meldrum. We become great friends throughout this coaching process because we get to know one another really intimately, and taking Dave from where he was to where he is right now was hugely surprising to him because, like most people, they come into this thing and another weight loss thing, another diet thing. And I just want to get across in these like videos and episodes and these these testimonials that it's not about that. It's about shifting an identity. It's getting to know yourself on a deeper level, opening up and allowing yourself to become the best possible version of you. So many great things have happened throughout the process of Dave and I working together. I want you to listen, and then I'm going to just catch you out the other side. Hello, Mr. Meldrum.
Mr. Biggle, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Good.
Excellent.
So we are towards the end of the 12-week program, and what I do with all my clients is we record just a little bit of a story of your journey. So I wanted to do that with you today because I think it's been an amazing journey so far.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
do you agree?
I would have to agree.
You don't have to.
No, I would agree. Because
Well, thank you. If you didn't, I wouldn't share this.
It's been an unexpected journey, a journey different to the one I was expecting for sure at the start. So, no, I think it's been very interesting.
Awesome, man. Well, what I wanted to do was just go through like kind of from beginning to end, and obviously kind of look towards the future also. So, before we start working together, Dave, what was it that you felt that you were kind of struggling with?
I think I didn't really feel that I was struggling as such with anything other than the fact that have been consistently a stone overweight for quite some time, and not really finding the time, the ability to shift that, lose that, and just felt as though I'd got into a little bit of a malaise with my fitness and needed some help with trying to get some kind of regime in place. That's what I was thinking I needed, in all honesty. But that's, as we're probably about to discuss, not strictly what I found was what was needed in order to get things moving in the right track.
So before we maybe move on to that, like what was this kind of affecting you? How was this affecting you? Like kind of this malaising and being, a bit stone overweight and feeling the way you were?
I think probably struggling a little bit with, it affects your confidence a little bit, I guess. I wouldn't say it was too much on that front, but certainly get a little bit depressed is probably the better way of putting it in terms of self-image, that kind of thing. But I was also getting a little bit depressed at the fact that I couldn't seem to do anything about it, to actually find the time to put into fitness properly and diet, etc. And that was the thing which was kind of getting me down, the fact that I didn't seem to have any real self-control, it sounded to me, it felt a little bit pathetic at my age not being able to do that.
Mm-hmm. What was your kind of main concerns moving forward? Because we know that you're hitting quite a big milestone birthday wise. So what was your kind of overall thoughts moving forward if you never kind of addressed what was going on?
Well, yeah, that's it. I mean, as you kind of move into later life, I think it's important. Your fitness becomes even more important. I think your mental fitness becomes really important. And I want to be able to enjoy, hopefully, 10, 20, as many years as I can. It's as simple as that. And I think that enjoyment would be severely affected by inability to enjoy walks, being out of breath, or anything daft like that. So there's an awful lot to being fit as you get into later life. It's not just about how much weight you can push around in the gym. In fact, I think it's far from that.
What had you tried in the past?
Well, I think it was really just trying to keep on top of general fitness. So, and I've always been relatively active. When I'm active, I'm fine. When I've got things that I can do and enjoy, fine. So in the summertime, I find that my fitness levels are pretty good because I enjoy going out for a cycle, enjoy golfing. I'll enjoy going on long walks, etc. I've always had to force myself to go to the gym, and if that's the only thing that gets you through the winter, I do find that pretty tough, to be fair.
Was it generally winters where you found the hardest in terms of maintaining a healthy balance with your your weight and fitness?
Yeah, I would say that's probably the case over quite a few years since finishing playing sport in my 30s and things. I would say that's the case. And then 2 winters ago, I was really busy through winter building my own house. That really kept my fitness levels very high. I was feeling really good. And I thought, brilliant, let's keep this going. And then as soon as the next winter came along, it went back into the same malaise again. So that's what prompted the work with yourself and seeing if I could change things.
So what was kind of the worst thing about like getting yourself physically in shape then for it to kind of go the other way? How did that make you feel, bud?
Well, you just feel like you've let yourself down a little bit. And as I say, I think the word depression is probably a little bit extreme, but you certainly feel down about it, down on yourself about it. And I think that's a real shame when there's an opportunity to try and just nail it and keep it right.
What made you want to kind of change tact a little bit and maybe go down the route that I was proposing? What kind of led you to that conclusion?
Just the fact that I'd had just 1 year earlier been in a really good place, being in pretty good shape, and then letting it go again so easily, letting it slip so easily. I found that pretty frustrating. And I just thought, I need to do something about this before I get into my retirement years. And they're coming around quite rapidly. So I think those were the two main drivers, looking at what could be in the future and the fact of where I was just literally a year earlier.
What made you kind of start working with myself? What made you kind of reach out to me?
Well, it's the fact that I've known you a number of years, obviously, which obviously that gives a good bit of confidence and faith. I think the other thing is, though, it doesn't feel pressurized in any way, shape, or form. You were at pains to underline that this was not about inventing diets or new diet regimes as such. It's getting to understand where you are, what you're doing, what you're at, and looking to change things long term rather than a short term fix. Because I've been there in the past. And that's not what I was after.
So how was it working with me, would you say, as a whole? Be nice.
I've really enjoyed it. And I think because you kind of ask questions about the whole life of the client, if you like, not just about diet, about fitness. Certainly, the 12 weeks starts off looking at those kind of things in detail. And I was expecting the whole thing to be about inventing a diet for me that I would like, looking at the kind of foods I like, and therefore suggesting things, but it's not strictly about that at all. You definitely give an awareness of obviously the kind of foods that are good, but there's no sense of dieting to it. And I think the sooner you get that out of your head, the better, which is really good. But it's because we spend so much time talking about life, what's important, what's coming up, how do we achieve those things, and setting targets in the various things that are going on in my life. That's what's made the massive difference for me, really understanding the real headlines that I need to get a hold of and move with. And that's actually what we've done and making a real difference for me as well.
Was that one of your kind of biggest surprises coming into this, maybe expecting me to give you things to maintain control rather than giving you what I have given you?
100%. That's the biggest surprise. I thought it would all be very regimented and documented, and it would be me falling into something that you'd kind of pre-prepared, pre-planned, which was a worry because I didn't think I'd probably be able to maintain that. That hasn't been what it's been about at all. It's been about understanding what's going on in my life, where I want to go with it, the fences I've got to jump over in order to get there, and actually understanding how I create the time to do that. I think that's the biggest thing. It's about time management, and sorting out the important things to give yourself the time to have a reasonable diet, to spend time on fitness, but also to your major life goals. That's the important thing. I think if I get my major life goals right, that's the thing that's come over loud and clear in the last couple of weeks specifically, then everything else will fall into line with that, because it's the big blockers in my life that are stopping me from having an enjoyable diet, and having enjoyable exercise regime.
The way that we've kind of taken everything in your life and like looked at everything and also looked at the big picture, how are you feeling about the future now?
Very excited about it, actually, because there's great possibilities, and I think I'm well on the way. I don't kind of fear anything in the future at all. I'm actually looking forward to getting fitter, keeping things going, as well as all the other targets that I've set myself on the big goal front as well. Yeah, it's an exciting time rather than something about looking into the future thinking the only way is down from here. Far from it. I'm actually thinking the opposite right now.
What would you say to anybody who was just maybe coming into this thinking, like, is it another diet? Is it just another exercise program? What would your kind of like brief synopsis be to them?
Well, it's absolutely not that, and it's actually free your mind, as I often say about everything. You'll get as much out of this as you put in. If you come into this feeling skeptical, which I have to admit I did, and then you behave and enter into the different exercises you do in a skeptical manner and kind of hold back rather than just actually sharing, I think you'll get very limited result out of it. You go into this with an open mind and actually enjoy doing the different exercises that you set and having the different conversations and open up. I think you can get a massive amount out of this, and that's the real changer if you the way you go into it, I think.
If there was somebody kind of on the fence, maybe listening, thinking about, you know what, I need to do something with my life. I've tried numerous diets and whatnot, and nothing's stuck. What would your kind of recommendation to them be if they were just thinking about maybe, you know, booking a free call with myself just for a chat?
I think the recommendation would be to actually definitely do that call, dip the toe, try to take it further, and understand that usually the things which are preventing you from eating well, from looking after your body, caring about yourself, there's normally some bigger reasons for that. And trying to identify them and tackle them is the way to do it, rather than swapping what type of pie you're eating. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. And when it comes to your life, would you say that, you know, the journey that we've had has aligned certain things that you want out of your future?
100% it has. I think it's made things really clear. Obviously, I was coming up to a really important time in my life where retirement's within the next 4 or 5 years, probably. I've got a business to think how that was going to move forward. Didn't really know how to do that. And I think that's one of the biggest surprises out of this for me. I didn't realize that was causing such a cloud in my own head as to how to move forward and move on and do it in a way which I could feel really comfortable with and really proud about. And all of that has happened at the same time. Obviously, I'm taking advice on all sorts of legalistic issues that goes with that from other parties, but I think it's been really clear. The work we've done has been a major part of giving real clarity to what I wanted to do with one of the most worrying things at this time of life for me.
I think that's been probably the biggest thing from me knowing you as long as I've known you and knowing your lifestyle, and you being almost like the perfect candidate for somebody like myself to help, who is far too busy, whose schedule is like cluttered, to empower you in such a way that kind of makes you, really puts you behind the driving seat. I think that's probably, in my eyes, been one of the most important aspects of this process. Would you agree, my friend?
Yeah, I would agree. I think one thing which has been quite gratifying for me as well, if you don't mind me saying so, I think you've quite enjoyed seeing my progress in the light bulbs coming on. And as a result, the changes I'm determined to do and the moves I'm determined to make, I think you've really enjoyed being a part of that, which is, it's a really nice thing to do.
Do you think accountability has been important to you as well?
Well, it is in everything, isn't it? I think I'm a great believer that everybody should be accountable for their own actions. And I think it's so easy to make excuses, isn't it? And that's another thing which, in fairness, all the exercises and the conversations we have, it drives that whole idea of accountability and self-preservation. So that's a really important part, definitely.
Do you think if maybe back when we were having a conversation about doing some work together, if you just said to yourself, "Oh no, I'm all right," where do you think you would be now if you didn't say, "Oh yeah, let's go for this"?
Well, that's a tough question, isn't it? Because hindsight has worked out wonderfully on this occasion. So I guess I would probably still be meandering down the same path, would be my best guess on where I would be. Probably still struggling to know what to do with some real big things in my life, as well as not really feeling as though I've made any progress in terms of looking after myself any better. So yeah, there's I'd like to think this has been absolutely massive in making a difference.
Well, I like to think the same, and I think from the outside looking in, the conversations that we've had and how well I've truly getting to know you, I definitely believe there's change there. But as you say, it's self-accountability and it's keeping yourself moving forward and doing what you said you were going to do.
Absolutely correct. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm going to end the recording in a second, but before I do, Mr. Meldrum, I do want to say, for the record, a huge well done. You know, it has been a pleasure working with you, and I am very excited about seeing the future version of you also.
Well, that's very kind, but no, thank you for the work we've done, because I've really enjoyed it. And as I said, I don't open up easily. I don't think many people do. So that's been a surprise as well. You are a very easy person to have a conversation and a very close conversation with. So it's been really important part of the work. And it's been really enjoyable. It's been good crack.
Good crack. Thank you, man.
Cheers.
And that is it for today's episode. I really do hope that you have enjoyed it. Now, like all my clients that I work with, it all just begins with conversations. I just want to know your story, and that's going to let me know if I can help you with your situation or not. Just like Dave and all the people that have came before him and the people that I'm currently working with also, it's just hugely exciting knowing that I'm helping shape somebody's entire future. And a lot has come from Dave and I working together in such a short space of time. It all begins, as I said, with conversation. So send a message, connect with us. Excuse me. I'm just keeping that in. Connect with me. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. Go to the website, buildwithbickle.com. In fact, you can have a free 30-minute discovery call. It's laid back, done over Zoom. We have a bit of crack, get to know one another a little bit. And if I think we're a good fit, we'll move forward in some sort of degree. But yeah, send an email, ian@buildwithbickle.com. The website is buildwithbickle.com, and that's got all sorts of links to find where you can book that discovery call. But yeah, just like Dave, just like every client I've worked with, in order to be successful, it's about just taking action and moving forward. Stop sitting on the fence, basically, because your life will pass you by. It's about stepping into uncertainty and doing the thing. And what I do with my clients is help them, be what they were always capable of being. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and catch you soon. Goodbye.